Well, welcome to Park Heritage High School, and it is great to see the ones that have made it here tonight for this, and we are excited about welcoming your class to Park Heritage High School, and glad to see you all here. We're going to have a pretty detailed presentation for you tonight called our Freshman Orientation. Hopefully it will answer quite a few questions for you. We know it won't answer all questions, but that's what we are also here for. As the principal of Park Heritage High School, my name is Dwight Ashley, and we are very proud of what we've been able to create here in Park Heritage, and we are really excited again to be able to have you join us in what we're doing here. Obviously this year, this COVID year, has been kind of unique, but I think Park Heritage has come through this about as well as any school in the state. I think we've had a lot of really big successes academically and athletically and musically and drama and many other things. We've still done a lot of things that have actually gotten that Park Heritage name known all around the state, and that's because of the hard work of our students and families. So I am really proud of that and proud of the hard work that our students and families do to make this a really good place. So I'm going to go ahead and hand it over to our counselors here. We have Cheryl McDaniel, Jay McMullen, and Laura Hayes. Laura Hayes is our Ivy Tech College Connection Coach and K-14 Director, and you will get to know her quite well too through your years here at Park Heritage. She will help you figure out all your dual credits and that pathway, and then Mrs. McMullen, Mrs. McDaniel will answer any other questions that you may have about your schedule and any other questions if you just want to go talk. Okay? So I'll go ahead and hand it over right now, and again, welcome.
Alright, so welcome class of 2025 to Park Heritage High School. So we're going to go over quite a bit of information tonight, so if you have questions, we'll have a chance to have a Q&A afterwards, or you can send us an email. Our emails are in the handouts up top. So we'll kind of get started. So we want to go over where to find information, how to communicate with us, how the high school gets information out. So it's important to know where to go. Email is really important, so students that keep stressing out how important it is to check your email every day. We send a lot of information out via email. The counselors also have a Canvas page, so we put a lot of information on the Canvas page. I would recommend that parents also join the counselor's Canvas page. That just allows you to stay updated on anything that we send out. So the counselors' Canvas page is new this year. It allows us to put all the information in one spot. We still do put information out on social media, but sometimes that can get lost with all the different posts. So Canvas is a one-stop place where you can find all the information that the counselors can put out. We also send out information through text messaging. That just gets information out to parents. We also send it out through our webpage. So we have a Canvas portion on the Park Heritage High School webpage. That information is a little less detailed than what you'll find on our Canvas page. We send out automated calls sometimes if it's something that we need to get out to you in a pretty fast manner. And then we encourage the students to share information that is given to them throughout the day. So in high school, a lot of information is given to students by the teachers, counselors, and other staff members, and it's important to encourage students to pass that information on to you guys. So on the handouts up top, it has all of our social media areas that you can find. It also has all of our emails. So if you need to contact any of the counselors, you can email us directly. You could give us a call. But that information is on the handout for you guys to have. And since you guys are new to Park Heritage High School, I wanted to put our faces with names. So some of you might know Miss McMullen from her time at Tribune Elementary. And then Mrs. McDaniel, that's me. So I work with a lot of freshmen and sophomore students, but Miss McMullen and I both work with all students in high school. And then Mrs. Hayes is, like Mr. Ashley said, the College Connection Coach, but she helps in so many areas. If you have questions about credits or how things might transfer to post-secondary institutions, she's a great resource. So don't hesitate to reach out to her by email, stop in, you can come in and see any of us anytime, give us a call. Okay, so now we're going to get into the pathways for graduation. So the class of 2025, there's new pathways, new graduation requirements. So the handouts have information for you guys just to take home and maybe look at the buckets that each student has to earn. So the pathways are 3 buckets. So you have to have credits. So the credits are what we're used to. You have to pick a diploma track. So academic honors, 440, or technical honors. Then you have to show that you have employability skills. So the employability skills you can show in different ways. You can show that through like a club, 4-H, FFA. You could also use sport. That was the other one. So sport. So you can't just be in a club and count that. Your either leader or coach has to fill out a form that says that you're able to demonstrate employability skills. So that's something that we will track, but know that within your 4 years you have to have someone sign off that you are able to demonstrate employability skills. The other one is a project-based, so you can present a project to staff members, have a board of staff members, so you could do some project, like a science fair project comes to mind, something similar to that. You have to present it to staff members at the school, so that's another way. In your handouts, there's something that breaks it down a little bit more like a graph, and it shows the 3 buckets on there. Post-secondary readiness would be a pathway. It could also be a specific score on the SAT, the ASVAB, but we'll go into more details here in a minute on all of that. So this is the form I was thinking with the graph. So it breaks it down into all 3 categories. So you have to have something from each bucket. So when you're looking at diploma tracks, as an 8th grader, you would want to pick a diploma track. So that would be what you are on track and we follow in your 4-year plan throughout your high school career. Then the employability skills, I broke that down where you could do the project-based, so research project and present it. Service-based, you could volunteer, that's for the clubs, for the sports. And then the work-based would be a job. So if you have a job throughout your high school career, your employer could fill out a form that says you are able to demonstrate employability skills. And then the post-secondary readiness, if you picked academic or technical, that would fill that bucket. So it would fill the first bucket and the 3rd bucket. If you scored the 480 on English to the SAT and 530 on the math, that would fulfill that bucket. So you have to have 1 from that bucket. If you have a vocational pathway, that would also fulfill that bucket. So just know as you go through high school, we will track this too, but you would have to have something from all 3 buckets. And that's new for your class. So this just breaks it down a little bit more. we'll have the PowerPoint so you can go back and reference. We're also recording it so you can go through and look at it. Because it's a lot of information in a short time. But it shows the diploma tracks here, so that will fulfill the credits bucket. The employee building skills, the project-based, service-based, work-based. And then the post-secondary readiness. So when we're looking at diploma tracks, we'll go into that a little bit. So 440 is the basic diploma track that you would have to get. So the core 40 requirements go towards all 3 diploma tracks. So core 40, you have to have 8 credits. So each year of high school, you have to have an English craft class. Math class, you have to have at least algebra, algebra 2, and geometry. And then science, biology, and then you have to pick chemistry, ICP, or physics. And then you have a choice of a science class. And then social studies, you have U.S. government, world history, and government and econ. So you have to have 6 credits throughout high school for social studies. Also, you have to have 1 credit. So a lot of times we try to fit that in your freshman year, depending on what classes you want to take. It doesn't always fit in your freshman year, but you have to have 1 semester throughout high school. And then 2 semesters of PE, so 1 year of PE. And then the rest are your electives. So you have to have a total of 40 credits for the core 40. And those are the ones that you have to have specifically, and then the rest you would fill with elective classes. So for academic honors, you would fulfill the core 40 requirements, and then you would take an additional math class. You would have to have foreign language, so 2 years of 1 foreign language and 2 years of another, or you could take 3 years of 1 foreign language that would fulfill that. And then you have to have 2 fine arts credits. And then the other requirements, you just have a C- in any required class or above, and then an overall GPA of 3.0 of each GPA. And then in addition to that, you would have to take one of the following. So you could take 6 credits, or 6 total dual credits. So you would need that or an AP class, or you could have a combined score of 1250 on the SAT. So you have to have one of these in addition to the 440 with a minimum of 47 credits. The technical honors, you have to have the core 40 requirements, and then you have to have 6 credits in a college and career pathway. So a vocational class could fulfill that. You have to have the C- or above in the required classes, and then an overall 3.0 GPA. And then the 47 credits are required for the technical diploma also. That's a lot of information and a lot to try and track. So in Harmony, we actually have a 4-year plan that will track it for you. So as parents, I recommend that you follow the 4-year plan throughout your high school career. It will help you throughout the 9 weeks. At the semester, you can see where they're at. So on here, I have examples. So it will pull up all the required classes for the diploma. So on the side, on the yellow, it tells you what they need total. And then within the PowerPoint and then in the back, there's a link where you can watch a tutorial on the 4-year plan if you're not familiar with that. But the 4-year plan will track it for you. So here, the yellow shows what they will need. And then as they work their way through high school, that number will decrease. And these boxes down here will turn green if they've met the requirement. So if they're in an honors diploma track, they have to have a C- or above, and that will turn green. If it is below a C-, it'll be red. So then you will know to stay on that honors diploma track, they will either have to retake it or drop down to a 440 diploma track. So this allows parents to know where students are at any time. If the semester's not finished, it will show up red around the edges. So you can So here where it's green, this will show up red. So in progress, if it's red, that means they currently have a grade that's not going to count towards their diploma track. So they have until the semester to get that grade up. So the semester grade is what counts as goes on your transcript. So the 4-year plan will not only help you track it, but also let you know where they're at in their progress. And then on this side, it shows you, if you click the yellow right here, it'll drop down and let you know what math classes will count in that degree track. So the 4-year plan is turned off right now as we are finalizing the schedules. But as soon as we send out the email and let you know that the schedules are complete, you will have access to the 4-year plan, and it will auto-populate what classes they will need throughout their high school career. And this goes into a little more detail. So the students will pick a career path that helps them create their schedule, so they did that. When you guys got an email from Mrs. Uplinger about choosing schedules, they were picking and looking at pathways. And then this would show you what is needed. So academic honors, it automatically brings up that they need 8 math credits. So if they would have picked core 40, it would have said 6. So that helps you track what they need as they go along. So this sheet, it's a little more confusing. I tried to break it down in the PowerPoint for you guys and bring out what you need. But this sheet shows you what is needed for the core 40. So for the diploma tracks, every student needs at least these requirements, the core 40. And then if they want academic honors, they have to complete the core 40 in addition to this information here. So if you go by the PowerPoint, it takes out a little bit of the information that you might not need. All right, so I'm going to let Mrs. Stace go over the early college information. And after we're finished, we're going to show a couple of the applications that you guys will need to complete if you're interested in the Indiana College for early college or vocational.
Thank you. I am Laura Hayes, and I'm the Director of K-14 Transitions with Ivy Tech and Terre Haute. So one thing that Park Heritage has, which is very robust, is a dual credit program. We offer a lot of dual credit courses in-house, and then we also offer some through WRCTE. One thing that's great about Park Heritage is the diversity in the courses that the students can take while they're here, and they can also complete degrees while they're at Park Heritage. So that's what early college is all about, is not just taking dual credit courses, but at the end of your high school career having a degree to show for it. So at Park Heritage we have the Indiana College Core, which is a general education degree. It represents about the first year of college. So students will take classes like pre-calculus and they'll get college credit for it. They'll take the 3rd year of Spanish or French and they'll get college credit for that. So all of that college credit together is going to end up equaling about a year of college, and so potentially students could graduate from college within 3 years. We also offer 6 CTE or career and technical ed pathways that result in a college degree. So those are automotive technology, cybersecurity, education, EMS, CNA, and welding. And so all of those pathways are high wage, high demand pathways, and they put our students in the position of earning a living wage when they graduate from high school. So the Indiana College Core, it used to be called the STGEC, so we're thrilled that it's been renamed to ICC. But like I said, it's a 30-hour set of credits. And those are going to transfer to all 4-year public institutions in the state of Indiana as a block. So the other colleges aren't going to be able to pick and choose what you have. They have to take all 30 together. And most of our students who graduate with the academic honors honors degree, this fits into the schedule perfectly. So this will be seamless and they'll be able to get this as long as they follow their 4-year plan for that. These are some of the classes that the students need to take for the ICC. So written communication, they get those classes during their junior year, and Mrs. Woodard teaches those. They take a speech class, which is just an intro to public speaking. Quantitative reasoning, they have several choices. They can take pre-calculus and trig, they can take quantitative reasoning, and then they can also take calculus. And in the scientific ways of knowing, the courses that we offer here are during their second year of biology. If they would like to take that, they get credit for intro to biology, and then the other course is biology 2 at Ivy Tech. So that their second year of biology, they end up getting 8 college credits. So that's a big deal. They can also, depending on how they test, with AP chemistry, they can also earn college credit for chemistry. Then we have social behavioral ways of knowing, so those are our AP US history classes, AP world, and government. And then the humanistic and artistic ways of knowing, we have dual credit for French, dual credit for Spanish, and we also have some art history courses that students can take. So what I do in my office is I work with students with their post-secondary plans. So what is it that they want to attain once they leave high school? And how can we leverage the courses that they take while they're here so that that will support those plans and hopefully save you all money and save them time when they graduate. So anything we work towards career certifications. We have lots of other CTE programs that we don't offer degree completions, but they do have certifications embedded in them. So veterinary technology is one of those, and there are also some certification exams that the students can take if they do the building trades and some of the other programs that we offer outside of Park Heritage, but are still within the WRCTE umbrella. And this is a part of the group, it's most of the group, that will be graduating from Ivy Tech, Wednesday and Thursday this week. So they already have earned a degree from Ivy Tech before they will earn their diploma from high school. And this is the rest of the group. So we have a few juniors in the class this year. Those juniors are getting a CNA or an EMS degree. And these are dual credit teachers. So we are so thankful for their support and their willingness to continue their education so that they can offer these courses to you all. All dual credit courses that are offered through Ivy Tech are free of charge. The courses that we offer through Vincennes University are $25 a credit hour. Those are the criminology classes that they offer at over at South Vermilion. And then the IU class that Mrs. Woodard teaches to the seniors, those courses, they're $75 each. So a huge savings compared to what you would be paying at any 4-year institution. And we work very closely to make sure that those classes are all transferable and that you will be able, that it's something that you are going to do after you leave high school. So if you're interested in it, we really want you to try it out while you're in high school, and hopefully it will help support what you're going to do once you leave. Okay, so these are just the dual credit courses that will be offered when you all start, so 21-22. And I went through those classes already. So we are adding some more agriculture classes next year. And those are the vocational courses that we offer. Like I said, the computer technology, we just actually met today, and that's switching over to cybersecurity, which I think is going to be a bigger salad for the students. Everybody really likes cybersecurity right now, so that's the direction those courses are going. And then work-based learning. So work-based learning does not have college credit tied to it, but our students who are able to fit that into their schedule usually take half of the day their senior year and they go to work and they can earn money, and they come back once a week and they meet with Mrs. Studebaker, who's in charge of the program. So, and we'll take questions at the end, so if anybody has questions about dual credit, I'm happy to answer that.
Okay, so this slide just gives you the link to the tutorial, logging into Harmony. So in the middle school, I know they use Harmony. You should be familiar with that, but if you're not, I went ahead and added that link here. And then the 4-year plan is really important. So they do not use it at the middle school. So I encourage you to use this link. It's on handout in the back. Or this PowerPoint will be posted on the Park Heritage High School webpage, so you can just click it. But that shows you how to use the 4-year plan, and then most importantly, how the parents can track it. Like I said, the requirements for the diploma types are really confusing, so the 4-year plan does it for you. It allows you to see where your students are at, what they still need, what they might have available for a vocational class or any other elective. So I encourage you to use the 4-year plan link to figure out how to track your students throughout high school. And then we encourage students to get involved. So one of the handouts in the back has a list of different clubs that you can join, and then also the sports offered at the high school. So 21st Century Scholars. So you only have until June 30th of your 8th grade year to apply for the 21st Century Scholar. So the handout in the back gives you the financial parameters for that. So it is based upon the family financial yearly income. So make sure that you look at that. If you guys qualify, we encourage you, even if you don't qualify, complete the application, because if something changes before their senior year, you can try and make an appeal. But if you do not apply by June 30th of the 8th grade year, you're not able to appeal. So make sure that you look into that. We put the link for Scholar Track, that's how you apply. We also have paper handouts, so if you're not able to do it online, if you fill that out and get it back to Mrs. Ferguson at the middle school, or if you're at the high school, you can drop it by the office. If you're here for a sporting or event or something like that, we will make sure that it gets completed. But the most important date to remember, June 30th, is the deadline for that. So important tips. So at the high school, if you're going to be absent, make sure that you call the front office. I put the phone number on here. Mrs. Sterler tracks that. You can leave a voicemail for her if she doesn't answer. All students have to report to the cafeteria or the commons area. And when we do a tour of the building, we'll let you know what we mean by the commons area. But in the morning before the bell rings, all students need to report there. So if you eat breakfast, this is where you'll come. If you ride a bike, we do have a bike rack out by the main office that you can use. If you are tardy to school, you have to check into the main office. So make sure if you just have overslept, or if there's a doctor's appointment and you're coming in late, you have to check in at the main office. And then if you know there's a doctor's appointment, make sure that you're calling in for your student or letting Mrs. Sterler know. And then students are never allowed to leave the school building during the day without permission. So make sure that you're checking out. Like if you have to leave early for a doctor's appointment, make sure you're checking out in the front office. Okay, so Mrs. Sterler's on here in case you guys aren't familiar with high school staff. So Mrs. Sterler is the secretary. That's who you will check out with. Mr. Shelston is the athletic director and vice principal, and we just met Mr. Ashley earlier. So then I printed this slide specifically with the link addresses for applications. So the Scholar Track application, when we post this PowerPoint, you can just click it, or if you want to type that in. And then we have 2 applications. If you are interested in the early college, where we talked about any dual credit classes or any vocational class, We need you to fill out this application by Friday. If you're able to do it today by your cell phone or something like that, that'd be great. Or if you go home and fill out this application, we need you guys to do that by Friday. It doesn't lock you in, so if you're just thinking that maybe it's something you want to do, if you're going for academic honors, fill out that application because you will be taking the dual credit classes anyways. The other application is for dual credit through Ivy Tech, and I'll let Mrs. say something about that a little bit.
So the link that Mrs. McDaniel has put on the spread or on the slideshow for you all is a new link. Our dual credit application process has changed a little bit. We're going through an accreditation right now. So the great thing about dual credit going forward is the students will actually enroll themselves in the courses. So it's really important that the students or you fill this out now so that the application portion is done. And then when it's time for them to enroll in dual credit, they can go ahead and just log into their account and enroll themselves. They will be able to take dual credit in a few classes as freshmen, so it's a good idea to fill it out now. And we can work through any prerequisite testing that needs to be done when we look at the students' test scores and things. But it's great to go ahead and fill that out now, and it will help make that process a little bit seamless. And one other thing that I wanted to bring up on the important tips page is that we talked about the front part of the office, but the back part of the office, there's a back door to the office. And that leads you all to Mrs. McDaniel and Mrs. McMullen's offices. And my office is back there too. So if you, and there's a little lounge area, so if you all are overwhelmed ever during your freshman year and feel like you just need to take a break or you need to go talk to somebody in the office, you can do that. You can go in that back door and just sit down. Somebody eventually will see you if you just need to take a break. But that way you don't, I know sometimes you don't want to go into the front part of the office because everybody makes the assumption that you're in trouble, right? Because that's where a lot of kids end up going during the day. So if you go in the back door and you just ask to talk to a counselor, you all are welcome to do that.
Okay, so the pathways for this class, there are some dual credit classes that you will take as a freshman that other classes did not have the opportunity to do, and that's because of the new pathways, the next level plan of study, which is specifically starting with the class of 2025. So it's important that you go ahead and fill out this application if you're going to take an ag class, because the principles of ag, which is required for your class to take before you take any other ag class, is a dual credit class. So there's a couple of classes that you might not realize are dual credit, but I just encourage anyone in your class to go ahead and fill out the dual credit applications. So now you want to do Q&A and split up? Okay, so we're going to let the kids go on a tour, and if you have questions, if you want to come to the front, or if you want to go on a tour with the students, then you can always email or call. I'm happy to meet one-on-one with anyone that might have questions. Again, it's a lot of information that we've put into this short period of time. So reach out to us. A lot of changes for your class, so we're happy to answer whatever questions you might have. All right, so if you want to go on the tour, if you want to head towards the back of the room, if you have questions,